A big theme of the Shadow Teacher 33 channel, a theme that's been present ever since the very beginning, is the theme of unplugging. And I know that may sound a bit like hypocrisy, may sound a bit like a paradox as I'm communicating through this video platform. I'm communicating through this digital means, but I'm grateful that I have a life that is built that's completely separate of anything that happens on YouTube or BitChute or Instagram or any of these stupid digital platforms that people base so much of their life off of these days. And one of the things I see that's happening is polarity. When people plug in, they base so much of who they are off of the information that floods their senses through these digital platforms. You're seeing extreme narratives. You're seeing extreme stances on ideas. It's all about getting in the head and moving to the extreme, creating polarity, creating something and someone to fight with and fight against, even if that's not necessary, even if that is not what a soul seeking peace, a soul seeking the truth, actually needs. But yet so many people get stimulated by this paradigm, this polarization of consciousness. And these polarities, these pendulums, as Vadim Zeland would call them, end up just sweeping up what's left of the soul of that person and harvesting that soul and pulling life into the thought form, creating this pendulum, creating this egregore that becomes all-powerful as the individual spark starts to fade in that human being, and they gradually become more like a robot, more like an automaton, an NPC, as some would say. And another factor that seems to happen for people who spend most of their existence online and much of their identity and how they believe the world is through their digital experience. What they find is they're flooded with information. They're flooded with so much information that their consciousness, their human mechanism can't process all that is coming in. So they find themselves like this schizoid android, blurting and regurgitating everything that comes out without truly understanding it. And at some point this becomes overwhelming as well. And what happens is eventually people who are living in this state where they're flooded with more information that they can understand and process, they become apathetic. They've become apathetic to anything beyond their constructed worldview. And their existence revolves around simply finding comfort in their lives, which is usually provided through materialism, through consumption, through identifying again with these pendulums. And this very bland, flat, apathetic state of finding no greater concept to strive for other than consumption of material goods and then gossip of what's going on through mediated sources. This very flat, apathetic existence. What's left of that human is very easy to manipulate, very easy to control. And those masters of the matrix, those who truly understand consciousness and energy, those who understand this perspective of two or more gathered in the name of something, they manipulate the life spark of those who usually unconsciously give up their energy to these pendulums, to these belief systems, and kind of fluctuate between despair, apathy, fear, shame, these low vibrational identities of living in falsehood. But when you unplug, and an unplugging is not necessarily being extremely unplugged. It's a choice. A true sovereign being can go into the matrix, can see what's going on in the digital spectrum, and consciously choose what resonates, consciously choose what they want to put their attention on, and then consciously choose what to reject, what is ultimately not serving them. And this sovereign individual, they have an awareness of living in truth, living in higher values than consumption and gossip. So this individual who has that spark of the God spark that they can actually consciously tap into and feel, be aware of, they can choose how they want to co-create. They can choose if they want to go into this digital medium and offer something, but a lot of their life is outside of it. They're consciously creating with everything, even with the NPCs. Even with the NPCs, they're finding some meaningful way to consciously co-create in that landscape. And this is truly a state of power, feeling alive, a feeling something in the life stream of the soul that reminds you that you're human. It reminds you that you're something more. It gets you out of your head and into this expansive experience that can't be defined by words and labels. That's what those controllers, the controllers who know how to manipulate energy and consciousness, that's what they don't want. It's exactly what they don't want. And when you are that sovereign being, then you become a disruptive force in the matrix. You actually become an agent of chaos because they can't pin you down. They can't figure you out. And you become an agent of sovereignty and freedom. You become an agent of chaos. Chaos that disrupts a contrived, impotent order. And that's the true mission of Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33. And those who resonate with this message, over and out.